Welcome back to the channel, my friend. I am kinda reluctant to make this video because I'll be giving away some big secrets that can only come from someone who has played D.Va for over 9 years.
Oh, huge D.Va bomb.
Oh, big bomb.
The calculation on that was so huge.
Use this information to both outplay D.Va and improve your own D.Va.
Those 2 picks, that fight was over.
Let us begin by exploring the key concepts to defeating a D.Va in her MEKA. It is paramount for D.Va to manage her armor properly. Because the MEKA has such a large regular and headshot hitbox, her 300 HP armor does a lot to make her tanky. Recognize this fact and keep the pressure on her when she has low armor to force her matrix usage. In addition to that, keep your key cooldowns to hard punish a D.Va's mismanagement of her armor. The cooldown for boosters may feel short at only 4 seconds, but this also means D.Va has more opportunities to make a bad move. So let her use her boosters first, and then use your movement ability as a reaction to outmaneuver her. Use the fact that she can't be at 2 places at the same time. Either she helps her backline, or she dives in. So play around that fact to either punish her or bait her into a bad move. D.Va has a certain level of battery power before she needs to regroup with her team to recharge her armor, matrix and cooldowns. She needs to take pit stops throughout a fight or she will drain too much active resources from her supports away from other members of her team. Recognize, then exploit that pattern. The more she flies in without taking a pit stop, the less power she has for herself, which in turn makes it easier to punish her. The more you draw her away from her source of healing, the easier she is to take down. Know that D.Va's fusion cannons act as shotguns, so the further she is, the greater the spread of her pellets, the less damage she does. By understanding that fact, in addition to outmaneuvering her boosters, you can keep enough of a safe distance. Build on this concept to avoid her micro missiles more effectively. Use the range advantage to see and avoid these projectiles with good movement like timed jumps or sidestepping. Now let's move on to outplaying the defense matrix. This concept is risky to pull off, but with good practice is something you can rely on. The defense matrix has a 1-second cooldown between uses, giving you a short window to look forward to exploiting. With a good use of your positioning and range, you can wait for D.Va to drop her matrix to hit her with your big cooldown. Look to take this concept to the next level by baiting the matrix cooldown. The simplest example of this advanced concept is using Ana's or Cassidy's melee animation to fake out a sleep or a flashbang. Thanks to this workshop code, we can decipher that the defense matrix's true hitbox resembles a rectangle emanating from the cockpit with a range of 10 meters. By visualizing this fact, you can now look to find cute ways around the matrix. Think about surprising D.Va by hitting the MEKA from the side, from below, or from above. Given that in 5v5, a full use of matrix is a 3-second duration and it takes 6 seconds to completely recharge the matrix from zero, try to make her use her matrix at a distance as much as possible. Do not throw in your big cooldowns until you know she has a low matrix resource. As long as she has low matrix, she has less confidence to dive you safely. Do not underestimate how well a D.Va can place her bombs. There are a multitude of bomb throw techniques that can surprise you. A D.Va bomb takes 3 seconds to blow. Don't just stare at the bomb nor blindly guess where it will end up, because you can get surprised by the bomb placement skill. I suggest you use at most the first second and a half to actually read the trajectory of the bomb, then find the closest way to break line of sight. Facing a direction, then walking in a straight line to put as much distance as possible between you and the bomb may sometimes be better than breaking line of sight. Know that the bomb kill range is 6 to 21 meters, where a red warning means you are in range to take damage. No warning at all means no damage taken. Yellow means dangerously close to taking damage. The red warning shows up from further away depending on how low your HP is. And be wary of last second color changes. Notice that D.Vas tend to be more aggressive than usual when she has her bomb available. She will put herself into more precarious positions because of that extra life potential or remake squish opportunity. On top of that, the first booster's post-bomb is 99% of the time even more greedy than usual. This is by far the best moment to bait D.Va into a bad use of boosters. Another good thing to know is that D.Va's teammates tend to receive less peel that fight because D.Va is too preoccupied with being in an aggro enough position to place her bomb within one use of her boosters. Let's now move on to discussing moments and methods to hit a D.Va in pilot/baby form. By far the best moment to kill a D.Va is during her bomb throw. Not only is she more vulnerable, but it also means that she will have no chance to follow up on the space created by her bomb and cannot rebuild her ult that fight. Actively read the way baby D.Va moves and exploit moments where she is moving predictably. Movement mistakes where she is not abusing her tiny hitbox include things like moving in a straight line or pausing to call her mech, with the key mistake being when she jumps. A big mistake baby D.Vas constantly make is jumping, making it noticeably easier to predict her movement. Pro tip related to that: she cannot call for remake if her feet are in the air. If she is ADing, look at the direction of her knees or wait for her to walk into your crosshair. This is easier said than done because great baby D.Vas are tricky with their tippy taps. There are times where you should be staggering a demeched D.Va, when she does not pose any immediate threats, as it will force her team to wait for their D.Va to respawn. Or especially towards the end of fights, where your team can start the next fight early against a team without a mecha. There is also a mental aspect to it where it frustrates the D.Va to be staggered. Let's conclude by exploring some hero counter picks where a Zarya pick creates a constant varying level of pressure damage and single target bubble peels. However, good D.Vas will outplay by counting bubbles and balancing their amount of armor with boosters mobility. Because Ramatra doesn't have big damage, He relies heavily on his cooldown rotation. Good usage of CDs can make him difficult to remove, with the strong, unmatrixable burst of damage from his punches. Good D.Vas will play around the Ram by focusing his squishies before he can demech her. Roadhog will look to get rid of the D.Va first by exploiting any movement mistakes, getting extra value if they can hook her mid-flight. At range, they will force matrix usage so that once they hook the D.Va, they will out DPS her. Good D.Vas will exploit the 6-second hook cooldown to get in or out with their 4 seconds boosters cooldown. Mei and Symmetra will look to extend the amount of time they have to burn down a no boosters D.Va. Either a Mei wall to separate a D.Va from her supports, or cheeky sim turrets that distract D.Va's target focus and slow D.Va's flight speed. On the other hand, good D.Vas will use their armor to out DPS these counters through headshots or try to keep at an optimal range. Vendetta can easily hit D.Va's MEKA and will out DPS her in most situations. Good D.Vas will use their mobility advantage to keep distance and only look to punish disadvantaged Vendettas. Echo can easily bait out D.Va's matrix cooldown and use sticky bombs. She will actively look to hunt and swiftly focus beam any D.Va that loses her armor. Even if she flies slower, Echo has a similar mobility cooldown, 6 seconds, versus D.Va's 4 seconds. Good D.Vas will feel significantly more restricted in their actions and HP management. Brig is a strong pick due to her cooldowns and her heals cannot be eaten, but the D.Va can move around to avoid the Brig altogether, or even tank the damage and stuns as long as there's no other follow-up. Zen is a good counter pick to a certain extent due to his range advantage and damage, but a full matrix D.Va that closes in quickly can smartly outplay his projectiles. Baptiste can use his fire rate to annoy the hell out of D.Va from afar, and good use of his immortality field can either save his team from a bomb or turn the tide for a teammate that D.Va has dived. D.Vas will wait for the 22-second immortality field cooldown or punish a BAP's high jumps. I am sharing my experience, hoping that you are now better prepared to outplay a D.Va of any skill level. Smash the like button if you want more similar videos. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. This was Fape for the Fapelele Gaming channel.